back to my channel, and I'm back with new stories. And guess what? We just hit 20,000 subscribers. 20,000. Thank you so much for your support, the love. I appreciate you guys, and I love you so much. Thank you. And now, if you are new to my channel, I'm Vera, but you can call me V. And I share stories that I receive from my subscribers and followers. Stories in need of your advice and opinions. And so if this is something you love, subscribe and like this video. It is very important too. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that when I post, you'll be notified immediately. Today's shout out goes to Kessie29 for being the first person to comment on my last video. Thank you so much for the support, babe. I love you. And now, relax, get comfortable, and let's get right into it. Story number 1. Hi V, good evening. How are you doing, please? I'm doing good, babe. I'm a 26-year-old girl and a university student. Things haven't been easy for me and my family. I met this man around April 2022. Let's call him D. I knew he had a wife, so when he approached me, I asked him about his wife. He told me that the wife left to take care of a sick father who also lived somewhere around Kumasi 2 years ago and has not returned since then, although they keep in touch. He said their second child is with her and their first child is with him here. I really needed help at that time because I had just returned from Accra after completing SHS and didn't have a job. I thought that since the wife was not around, it wouldn't really be a problem if I accepted him so he could help me, so I did. We started dating and this man was nothing like any other guy I had ever been with. He treated me like a queen. About 5 months into the relationship, I started seeing females visiting him at the room where we used to meet. He never took me to his own house, though I wasn't bothered because I knew that this relationship wasn't going anywhere. Whenever I asked him about these ladies, he claimed they were his friends. Sometimes I would go through his phone and realize he was actually lying. This man is a chronic womanizer. When I confronted him about it, he would cry and beg me, saying it was just a chat between him and the ladies and nothing more. I've been asking about his wife and kids every day. And when I asked if he sends them money, he said yes, and that he takes care of all their expenses. V, I could see that this man loves me so much, but I don't feel anything for him, especially when I know he's a womanizer. Fast forward to last year, I decided to continue my education, and he helped by renting a room for me and furnishing it. He also paid part of my fees as well. This man has been very good to me, but the way he likes women is too much for me. I've asked to break up several times, but it seems he doesn't want to let me go. Oh, I forgot to tell you that I later found out his wife is actually around and not at her father's place. When I asked him about it, he denied it and told me that the last time he saw his wife was 5 months ago, which is something he had already told me more than 2 years ago. Babe, this man is not yours. So why are you even surprised he has other women apart from you and his wife? If he can cheat on his wife, he can cheat on you. Personally, I'm going to tell you to leave this man. He's married, he has a wife. And you mentioned you don't love him back because you know he's a womanizer. And you've said it yourself that you don't think you're going to go anywhere with this man. He has a wife and kids. So if you are with him for the financial benefits and you feel you know what you are doing, then continue. But you're a woman, babe. Put yourself in the shoes of his wife. This man is clearly lying. His wife is around. Babe, you'll be much happier without all this stress and dishonesty. You deserve better, a man that is all yours. Focus on yourself, your education, and finding a relationship built on honesty and trust. You deserve better than what D is offering you. I'm wishing you all the best. And now, if you have any advice for this sender, write story number 1 and leave your advice and opinions. She's going to be in the comment sections reading them. Let's move on to story number 2. I dated a guy when I was in senior high school, but my mom and auntie did not approve of the relationship. They warned him to stay away from me, but we remained involved and I financially supported him. When I entered university in my first year, I found out I was pregnant. I told him about the pregnancy, but he urged me to have an abortion without offering any financial support, which I was afraid to do. After the semester ended, I returned home when my mom discovered that I was 7 months pregnant. My aunt invited the guy and his parents to discuss the situation, but he falsely claimed that we had only been intimate twice and that I had told him my dad had arranged for an abortion, so he was not responsible. What? Later, I found out that he had impregnated another girl and his mother is taking care of her. My parents continued to support me until I gave birth, and my mom took on the responsibility of caring for my baby so that I could continue my education. Unfortunately, the other girl lost a baby during delivery, and now the guy wants my baby and me back. What should I do? Babe, you need to think about what you truly want for yourself and your baby. You've given a lot to this guy, and he hasn't showed you the same level of commitment and support. I think you should really talk to your mom. She has been there for you and the baby. Ask her what she thinks about the whole situation. You are still young, and you have the chance to focus on your education and your future. Your baby needs a stable and loving home, and you are in the position to give him that. With or without this guy, you've been doing it without him. Now, about the guy wanting you back, you have to be very careful. He has shown you he's not reliable, and has even moved on with someone else. Just because he wants to come back now doesn't mean he's going to be there for you or be a good father for your child. It cannot be trusted. So just make a decision that is best for you and your child, not based on what he wants or what others want. And babe, stay focused on your education. You are stronger than you think, and you've got this. You can create a good life for you and your child. I'm wishing you all the best. Take care of yourself. And now, if you have any advice for the sender, write story number 2 and leave your advice and opinion. She's going to be in the comment sections reading them. Let's move on to story number 3. Hi, Auntie V. I'm just a 15-year-old girl, and I'm going through a lot. I stay with my mom's sister, and although she's loving and sweet, there are certain things she says that makes me very sad. On top of that, school is not a place I can escape to either because I have a lot of bullies there. I've tried committing suicide several times, but I always end up rethinking my decision. I'm afraid I can't hold it in much longer. I'm really sorry, this is not the kind of story you usually post, but I really need your advice, Auntie V. Thank you very much for reading my story. Babe, I've got you. The first thing I want you to know is that it is okay to feel sad and overwhelmed. It is okay. You are facing a lot for someone so young, and it is a good thing you reached out to me. Now, the issue with your auntie, I think you should talk to her. You mentioned that she's loving and sweet. You know, sometimes the way our mothers and aunties are brought up is quite different. So it could be that she was brought up that way and she's not seeing anything wrong with that. She might not even realize the impact of what she's saying. Open up to her if you can. Just talk to her. Tell her how much her words hurts you. If she cares about you, she'll try to change for you. Now, let's talk about your school. Dealing with bullies can be very hard. It is not your fault. Now, I want you to try to talk to a teacher you trust. They can help you feel safer at school. Now, babe, I understand you've thought a lot about suicide, but I want to say this to you very clearly. Your life is very valuable, and there are hope for better days ahead. I was bullied in school. I was very smallish, and I was bullied. But look at me now, I'm very, very happy. This will also pass. This is just a small fraction of your life. Very small. There are happier days ahead. Trust me, there are happier days ahead. Now, babe, if you ever feel like hurting yourself, talk to a trusted adult. Reach out for help. You don't have to go through this alone. If you can, even talk to your auntie about the way you are feeling. And always do things that make you feel happy and excited. I loved reading, so I was always reading. When I read, I'm lost in another world. So do the things that make you feel happy. And remember that it is okay to reach out for help. Like the way you wrote this story to me, you can ask anyone around you for help, someone you trust. You don't have to handle everything by yourself. You are very strong for sharing your feelings here. Keep holding on, babe, and take it one step at a time. You can get through this. You've got this. I'm wishing you all the best. And now, if you have any advice for the sender, write story number 3 and leave your advice and opinions. She's going to be in the comment sections reading them. Let's move on to story number 4. Hi, V. I met this guy in college and we started dating. By the time we got to our final year, I got pregnant because this guy loves sex and doesn't like to use condoms. I was taking emergency pills, but I forgot to take them and ended up getting pregnant. I didn't tell him when I found out. Instead, I texted a friend who took me to the hospital to have an abortion. And I paid all the expenses without asking or telling him. A few weeks later, he found out and offered to refund me what I spent. But I ended up spending about 400 cedis and he only gave me 100 cedis. He promised to give me the rest later, but he never did. Fast forward, after school, we were posted to different regions for our national service, but we were still together. I tried to visit him at least once a month. He always told me how girls try to get his number. He was working in a small village where everyone knows each other and is extra nice and friendly. Sometimes he will give out his number because of work, but there was a particular girl he always talked about. I didn't read too much into it back then. I am a very independent person and I don't ask him for anything. On rare occasions that I did, he would just say he would see what he could do and kept giving me dates, so I stopped asking. Eventually, I found out he was cheating, so we broke up and I stopped talking to him. In 2023, we met and started getting close again. Old feelings resurfaced and he told me things weren't good between him and that girl. Since I still liked him, I began visiting him again and things seemed great until my last visit. That is when I noticed girls' slippers and other girls' things. That was when he finally admitted that the girl came over and that they were still together. I was hurt and angry, so I left his place without talking to him. Weeks later, I found out I was pregnant and I didn't want to have an abortion, so I told him about it. However, he didn't want anything to do with us. I insisted that I wanted a baby and would keep it. We argued, and in the end, I accepted that I would raise the baby by myself. I went through the entire pregnancy alone, and he didn't check up on me once. When I gave birth, I sent him pictures, and since our son looked like him, he called and we spoke for a second, but we didn't talk again after that. When my mom passed away, he called a couple of times and said he would come for the funeral, but he never did. Occasionally, he would ask for a picture of his son, which I will send him, even though my son bears my surname and not his. Fast forward to last December, my son fell seriously ill, and we were in and out of the hospital. I still didn't ask him for any money, but unfortunately, my son passed away. Oh, babe, I'm so sorry. When I texted to tell him, he tried to pick a fight with me, so I just went straight to the point and told him that his son has passed. Then he started calling and begging me to pick up and asking questions about what happened. I told him everything about how I had to take loans to pay bills and that I wanted to bury our son that week. I needed to clear all the bills before I could take him. When I told him the hospital bill was 2,000 cedis, along with the cost of the coffin, paying people to dig and other expenses, he offered to help. He sent 500 cedis and said he would send more the following day, but I didn't ask him again. However, a day before the funeral, I couldn't raise any more money, so I reached out to him. He just kept leaving me on read. I even called several times, but he never answered. Even though he was posting on social media, I had to go the extra mile to get the money. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm so angry at him, especially because from the pregnancy until now, I never asked him for anything. And the one time I did, it turned out this way. I feel like calling the girl to tell her about the monster she's about to marry. Should I go ahead and do that, or should I just let it go? I'm really pained and hurt, and I want to hurt him back. Oh babe, I'm so sorry for the pain you are going through. I can see you are going through a lot. Now, it is completely normal to feel angry. You've been through so much, especially with the loss of your son and the way this guy has treated you. However, babe, I think acting on that anger and contacting that girl is not the right choice. Take a step back and think about what contacting her will achieve. You are going through a lot and you don't need more drama in your life. This situation is already painful, and adding more conflict could make things worse for you. Babe, instead of focusing on revenge, try to focus on healing. Surround yourself with people who care about you. It is important to process your feelings and find ways to cope with your grief. Now, regarding the guy, he hasn't been there for you. Cut him off. Distance yourself completely. And babe, I want you to remember that it is okay to feel hurt and angry. I want you to focus on yourself, your healing, and what is best for your future. You've been through so much already, and you deserve peace and happiness moving forward. I'm wishing you all the best. Take care of yourself. And now, if you have any advice for this sender, write story number 4 and leave your advice and opinions. She's going to be in the comment sections reading them. Let's move on to story number 5. Hi V. I'm a makeup artist in Nigeria, and here is a short story about how I was almost raped by a groom on their wedding day. Let's continue. I was booked by the bride who made the payments. A day before the wedding, the bride wanted me to sleep at the hotel that night, but I declined and promised to get there as early as I could. She was cool with that. Fast forward to the day of the wedding, I made sure to arrive by 5:30 a.m. and she was so happy. The couple stayed in one bedroom, which was normal. I think the bridesmaid and groomsmen booked a space in another hotel. From the moment the groom set his eyes on me, his reaction changed. I didn't think much of it. After all, I was there to do my job. After we finished with the makeup, the couple left the room to go to the reception and take some pictures while I was still in the room waiting for them and packing my kits. Not long after they left, someone opened the door. And guys, it was the groom. As soon as he entered the room, he quietly locked the door. Before I knew it, this man was moving towards me romantically and tried to forcefully push me onto the hotel bed. What? I was shocked. He tried pulling his wedding dress over my head and wanted to force me down. I felt so nervous and scared, and I told him that if he tried anything funny, I would scream and report him to his wife. That made him withdraw from his advances. He said I was acting like a baby, which irritated me even more. He then pleaded and begged me, saying it was just the devil that made him do what just happened. What devil? Whenever I remember this, I feel like telling the wife, but I don't want to spoil their marriage. Oh, Samene, your wedding day. And you couldn't just control yourself. Babe, this was a really frightening and terrible experience. You did nothing wrong. That man is an animal. And it is a great thing that you stood up for yourself. And set boundaries. Now, regarding telling the bride, it's a tough decision. If you feel comfortable and if it will relieve the burden you feel inside you, then reach out to her. I feel she deserves to know. But babe, be careful. Think about how she might react. And if you are ready for any consequences that will come out from that conversation. And babe, if you are going on jobs like this, consider having a friend accompany you. To make you feel safe, someone to be there for you. Always prioritize your mental health and your well-being. I'm wishing you all the best, babe. Take care of yourself. And now, if you have any advice for the sender, write story number 5 and leave your advice and opinions. She's going to be in the comment sections reading them. Should I give you one more story? I've given you 5. I usually do 4. Okay, let me give you one more. Let's move on to story number 6. Good morning, Auntie V. How are you? I'm doing good. I wish you a happy new year. Thank you, babe. Same to you. Auntie V, I'm a 25-year-old girl living with my auntie and uncle since 2019. They have 4 kids. My auntie has been on and off with me, but she paid my fees during university, and I hustled to feed myself. I used to do business in university, but now my business isn't going well. I have started my national service, but I don't have money to pay my rent. I spoke to my auntie, and she said she doesn't have money. This is the same person I discussed my plans with before starting my national service. I've seen bundles of money in a room, yet she still claims not to have money. I have to go back to work this week. And looking at how my uncle treats people outside but doesn't give me anything makes me feel sad. I cry every day. Sometimes they say offensive words that make me cry. I cook, clean, and do everything like a house help. Back in university, whenever I was going to school, my uncle would ask questions like, what is she going to do? And who is going to take care of the house? But by God's grace, I made it through. Auntie V, the problem is that I have thoughts of stealing the 7,000 cedis I need to pay my rent and then just leaving and never returning. Please, would I be a bad person if I did that? I know it is wrong, but Auntie V, I feel like I have no other options. Thank you for reading my story. Babe, it is okay to feel frustrated and desperate. We all feel this way sometimes. But babe, stealing is not the answer. You see, 7,000 cedis sounds like a huge sum of money, but it is not money. It is going to get finished within days, weeks, or maybe even months, but it will definitely get finished. Don't sell, babe. It is not worth it. Now, instead of thinking about stealing, try to find other ways to solve your problem. Try talking to your auntie again. Explain how serious your situation is. Beg her if you must. Maybe she doesn't understand how urgent it is for you to pay your rent. If she still says she can't help, consider reaching out to other family members, friends. You may also want to look into job opportunities or side hustles that can help you raise the money you need. It might be tough, but focusing on working hard and finding honest ways to make money will be better for your future. Babe, I know it is tough right now, but you have to stay strong. Take it one step at a time and stay hopeful. You can get through this. I'm wishing you all the best. And now, if you have any advice for this sender, write story number 6 and leave your advice and opinions. She's going to be in the comment sections reading them. And now, I bet you know that this is a judgment-free zone. We listen, we don't judge. So please be kind to them in the comment sections because obviously these issues are worrying them. And that is why they've sent me these stories in the first place. So please be kind. If you've not subscribed yet, please subscribe and like this video. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that when I post, you'll be notified immediately. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Okay, I'm done. Bye.